What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today I'm picking college football's top 25 week 4 games. So let's hop into it. In this week, we have six ranked versus ranked teams. So there's only 19 games this week, which is kind of a shame because I've gotten 20 plus games right every week. As my last week's record, it was 21-3, which brings my overall record to 65-8 picking these college football games. So with only 19 games this week, I sadly won't reach that 20 win mark this week. But either way, sixth ranked versus ranked games, that's just crazy in week 4. I know they normally wait towards the end of the season to have some of these big games, but this will be a fun week in college football. So the first game we have right here is Florida State, the number 4 team in the nation, against Clemson. Clemson is no longer ranked, as they were ranked earlier in the season, but because of a loss, they are no longer ranked. They did lose to Duke in week 1. Yeah, it was week 1 or week 2. I can't remember that far back. But yeah, so Florida State on the road, and I think Florida State will get the win right here, ultimately knocking Clemson out of the running for pretty much the college football playoff and an ACC championship run. So Florida State gets the win right here over Clemson. Then moving on, we have Oklahoma, the number 16th ranked team in the nation, and they are up a few spots from that 19th spot. And they're on the road and they take on Cincinnati. And this Cincinnati Bearcats team is a shell of what they used to be a couple of years ago. And for that reason, I do think Oklahoma will come into Ohio and get a relatively easy win right here over Cincinnati. Then we have Rutgers at Michigan, and Jim Harbaugh should be back for this Michigan Wolverines team. And whether he's back or not, it doesn't really matter right here against a much inferior Rutgers team, as Michigan should easily get this win by probably like 40 points right here. And then we have one of the first big matchups of this weekend. We have Colorado, the 19th team in the nation, going on the road and playing Oregon, the 10th ranked team in the nation. And sadly for Colorado, they will be without star wide receiver and cornerback Travis Hunter, as he did get injured and will be sidelined for a few weeks. So without one of their best players, this is an uphill battle for Colorado. And I've been behind Colorado this whole season. In each of my videos, I have picked them to win against TCU. But without their best player, I think it's really hard for them to go into Oregon and get the win. And as much as I want to give Colorado the win right here, I just have to give it to Oregon. They've been playing good football. They did almost get upset a couple of weeks ago, but still Colorado down, like I said, down their best player. It's hard for me to envision them going into Oregon and getting this win. So I think Colorado probably drops their first game right here. Then moving on, we have Duke at Connecticut. Duke up a spot to the 18 hole. And yes, this is not a basketball game. This is a football game. And Duke, they've been playing good football, and I think they'll go into Connecticut and get a relatively easy win right here. Then we have Miami, Florida at Temple, and Miami should just easily win this game. I don't see Temple standing much of a chance, so Miami is going to win this game with little to no thought. Then we have Ole Miss at Alabama, and this is another one of the ranked versus ranked matchups, as Ole Miss is the 15th ranked team in the nation against Alabama, who is the 13th ranked team in the nation. And Alabama lost a couple of weeks ago to Texas, so that's why they're at 13. And last week, I want to say they were playing Southern Florida. They really didn't look good. They won the game, but at the same time they had to bench their quarterback who was getting the start because they already benched the starting quarterback. I'm not too familiar with college football players' names, but still it's just kind of a mess right now in Alabama. And it wouldn't surprise me in the least if Ole Miss went in there and got the win. And I'm not going to say this is my upset pick of the week just because it's 15th versus 13th, and there's really not much difference of them in the standings. But I think Ole Miss is going to go into Alabama and hand them their second loss of the season, effectively ending Alabama's year this year, making them a two-loss college football team. So I'm giving this win right here to Ole Miss. If you want to say it's an upset, you can say that. I'm not counting this as my upset pick of the week. Then once again, another ranked versus ranked matchup. We have UCLA, the 22nd team in the nation, at Utah, the 11th ranked team in the nation. And UCLA, I said this, and I want to say it was last week's video, that I was kind of surprised they got into the top 25. They haven't really beaten anybody of note. They were just kind of playing all right football. They hadn't lost any games, and they were rewarded with a spot. And I think this is the week that they get knocked out as Utah. It's a tough place to go in and play. Utah knocked off Florida in week 1, and I don't see a reason why they can't knock UCLA off as well at home. So I'm giving this win right here to Utah. And then we have UTSA at Tennessee. Tennessee did lose last week to Florida. Florida did get into the top 25. They were the only team that made it into the top 25 this past week, as Kansas State did get upset and they got knocked out. Florida got in. But yeah, Tennessee lost and they fell all the way down to the 23 spot. But with a game at home against UTSA, I do think Tennessee will win this game relatively easily. So I'm giving this one right here to Tennessee. Then we have Arkansas at LSU, SEC matchup. Arkansas isn't ranked. LSU is the 12th in the nation, and I do think LSU will probably win this game relatively easily. And I don't think that there's too much thought going into this one right here. So I have LSU winning this game. Then we have Charlotte at Florida. Like I just said a few minutes ago, Florida was the only team that made it into the top 25 this week as they upset Tennessee last week. So they were rewarded with the 25 spot, and I do think they can defend the swamp and get a win, a relatively easy win right here against Charlotte at home. And here's now a stretch of ranked versus ranked teams. We have Oregon State, the 14th team in the nation, on the road at Washington State. And I do think Oregon State will go in there and get the win. I just think they are a little bit better of a team than Washington State. I know Washington State was able to beat Wisconsin, but I didn't think Wisconsin was too big of a threat, too big of a powerhouse, or anything like that. So I do think Oregon State can go in there and get the win right here. Then we have Iowa at Penn State, a Big Ten matchup, a ranked Big Ten matchup. Iowa, the 24th team in the nation, Penn State, the 7th ranked team in the nation. This game is in Happy Valley, and it will be Penn State's whiteout game. And if you don't know what a Penn State whiteout game, just go after this video or right now, and then you can come back. Go look up Penn State versus Michigan whiteout game, and you'll see exactly what I mean. If you haven't seen that clip, it's something else. But yeah, so Iowa's going into Penn State. They got a whiteout. It'll be a tough environment for them, and I don't see Iowa escaping Happy Valley with a win under the whiteout conditions. So I will be giving this one right here to Penn State in a hard-fought Big Ten matchup. I do think this one will probably be a relatively low-scoring game for a college football game, and it wouldn't surprise me if neither team reached 30 points. And then we have Ohio State, the sixth team in the nation, against Notre Dame, the number 9 team in the nation. And this will be my upset pick of the week. I know I said earlier that I didn't want to give it to the Ole Miss Alabama game, even though there was only a couple spot difference in their rankings. And even though there's only 3 spot difference in this ranking, I will be giving Notre Dame the win against Ohio State right here for 2 reasons. One, it's at home. The stadium's going to be rocking, and that's going to benefit Notre Dame. Secondly, Ohio State has started slow in every single game against Indiana, against Youngstown State, and against Western Kentucky. They've let the team hang around majority of the first quarter, kind of into the second, and then Ohio State has taken the reins. Now they're playing a real opponent right here in Notre Dame. They can't let Notre Dame jump out to a lead. I don't think Ohio State can come back from that. I know they have an explosive offense, but Notre Dame, if they jump out to a lead, I think Ohio State can get in trouble early. And Ohio State just can't play around. And Notre Dame is going to escape with a win right here and get a marquee win for this season. Then we have Texas, the number 3 team in the nation, against Baylor. And even though Baylor's not ranked, this still should be a relatively good game. I do think Texas will win this game, little to no thought, but Baylor should be able to hang around for a while and make it competitive. But I do think this will be a good game, but I will be giving it to Texas right here. Then we have UAB at Georgia, the number 1 team in the nation, and this game, little to no thought, Georgia should very easily be able to win this game right here. Then we have North Carolina, the 17th team in the nation, at Pitt, and I do think this is another one of those games where it's going to be a really good game, but I do think the ranked team in North Carolina will win it. But once again, I do think it will be a relatively close game for majority of the game. But yeah, North Carolina will probably win right here. And then we have Cal at Washington, another one where it should be a relatively close game for majority of it, but I do think the ranked team in Washington will win this game right here. So much like the North Carolina Pitt game, the ranked team will win, but it should be a relatively good game. And then closing out the weekend, we have the number 5 ranked USC team, and they're coming off a bye week, and they're on the road at Arizona State. And I don't think that matters much as they have Caleb Williams at quarterback. I don't think that Arizona State is going to be much of a threat to this USC team. So USC goes in there and gets a relatively easy win right there against Arizona State. And yeah, those are my college football top 25 week 4 picks. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like the video, please subscribe to the channel because at 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing a $100 Fanatics gift card giveaway. So yeah, leave your thoughts down below. I will catch you with another video. God bless.